Hi! Within this lecture, we're going to see how to work with layers that Scapy provide us in order to efficiently analyze the packets that we have gathered. So in here, we have found our username residing on the row, and if we go up one level, we will see that it has an HTTP layer here as well. So these are all called layers. So we have an HTTP layer, and under this HTTP we have an HTTP request, we have a row, and under row we have a load, and inside of this load we have our desired information. And if you have worked with programming before, maybe you have heard something called JSON. Okay, so JavaScript notation. So we will learn how to work with JSON later on, but these layers are kind of a JSON. I mean, it's not exactly like JSON because it has their own way of displaying things, but it makes us easy to analyze these packets with a certain way of displaying things. So let me show you what I mean. We are going to analyze this packet with Scapy layer functionalities. So I'm going to use if statements here. I'm going to first control if this packet has something. And we're not gonna show these packets to the user anymore, right? Because we want to be precise as much as we can. We don't want a gibberish terminal. So I'm going to say if packet dot has layer. Okay, so this packet has this method has layer, and you can search for layers inside of it. Like you can say if this packet has an HTTP layer. And in order to do that, you have to use http.http request. And as you can see, this HTTP is coming from the Scapy HTTP that I have previously imported. And remember, we had an HTTP, then HTTP request layer back in our other terminal. Okay, so now I am checking to see. So let me find this once more in here. Okay, so let me search for test. And as you can see, if you go up a little bit, we have this HTTP request layer in here. And I'm checking to see if we really have this. If we have this, then I'm going to dig a little deeper and find this row layer. Okay, and under row I'm going to take load. In order to do that, I'm going to control once more if it has this layer. So I'm going to say if packet dot has layer once more, and then I will search for Scapy dot row. And if it has this layer as well, then inside of this Scapy.row, I'm going to, and it should be lowercase of course, not uppercase, because we imported this to be so. And if it has this row layer, then inside of this row layer there is something called load, and I want to get that. In order to get that, I will say packet and open these braces in here, square braces. Okay, and let me say Scapy.row.load. Okay, and you have to put the dot after the Scapy.row thing, because packet with the square braces Scapy.row just gives all the layer of Scapy row, and after that you can say .load as we did in the previous section. So Scapy actually provides us this functionality. We can work and analyze the packets easily with Scapy. So let me print this out and see if I will be able to get this row packet only in here. So let me clear this. So we have a clear terminal, and let me run this attack once more so I can be man in the middle, And let me start my packet listener before I go and supply my thing in the other virtual machine. So this is running, and as you can see, there is no gibberish packets anymore. So let me say test, 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 and let me give it a password. And let us see what we get back. So if I click login here, make sure that it goes. Okay, now it went, and I will be able to see it in here. Now, as you can see, I get the information, right? I have seen test, 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 and I have seen the password. There are other information here as well, but there are so little that I can easily spot the username and the password now. Of course, I can work around with that, and let me try with some other username and some other password to see if it really works. Okay, so you can test this as well. Now it went, and if I go back here, now I can see the new username, user, and new password as well. So as I said, I can work around with that. I can try to get this with regular expression or any other methods, but I think this is pretty good enough for a user, right? They can easily spot the username and the password in this case. So now let's stop here, and within the next lecture, we're going to see how to bypass HTTPS websites.